Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Collector Strikes Back. We are on what, episode 4, man?
I think this is episode 4, man. A new hope and a new adventure for us today. So it's on.
Yeah. I'm Edwin San Juan. This is Manny Maldonado, and our new hope. We have new guests, first time on our podcast. But before we start that, I want to just shout out Gabriel, who hooked up our sign right here. It's our logo. He made it for us, and it's pretty cool, right?
Right, and it changes colors.
Change colors too.
So we're very excited to have this, and we're going to be displaying this every time we have guests. So
I kind of like yellow to represent my Asian people.
Fine then. Get your yellow on. There's no brown one. They didn't hook us up with the brown.
Because brown one looks like shit.
Whatever.
Purple's good. I mean, let's maybe go purple because we got two brothers in here. Mace Windu.
Oh wow.
You know
Okay, yeah.
Mace Windu.
Let's get our Mace Windu on. That's fine. That's fine.
My dad was a pimp, so that's
Get our Mace Windu. If we got purple, let's rock that shit. There we go.
All right. Well, speaking of brothers, our first guest I want to introduce is Ed Greer. How you doing, Ed? Welcome.
What's up, Edwin? I'm really happy to be on your show. I'm happy to be one of your first guests. And I guess you started out with black people. That's where it's at. We're the real original man. We're the original guest.
You know,
and that's when the show got canceled.
Yeah, right. Black people.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, they die first in the horror movies.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, wait till they kill you off at the end.
But I'm really excited that you're here. One of the highlights of me, because I've been hanging out at the Comedy Store a little bit here and there, more in there. But whenever I see you and Quincy there, it kind of brightens up my night because I know we're gonna have stuff to talk about. One of the first times I met you when I was leaving, you were like, "Oh man, we didn't even get to talk comics yet," and I was like, "What?" I was like, it left me with a good feeling, you know. I was like, "Okay, cool," you know. It's like, so it's good to know that you know your stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, comics are all nerds. They try to act like they're not. You wouldn't be a comedian if you wasn't a damn nerd. You know what I mean? Like it's a way to like use your outsider status to just come in and cha, you know. So like when comics admit that they're nerds about something, that's I love that.
There's only one more person nerdier than you, and I think it's the gentleman there to your right, Quincy Weekly.
Quincy Weekly in the house.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. Yeah, thanks for letting me be the first guest. That's yeah.
Actually, you're the second because he's the first. Let's not get cocky. So yeah, you're the.
Am I Buzz Aldrin? Is that the?
You're the co-guest. I'm just kidding. But no, thank you for coming here. And Edwin reached out to me when he hung out with you guys the other night. He's all, Manny, you know Ed Greer and Quincy. I go, Quincy. I kind of remember him, but when I do remember Ed. And
are you from Northern Cali, Quincy?
No,
I mean I'm Ed. I'm sorry, I get you guys mixed up.
Now you get him confused. Wow, you're the one that brought these. Damn, already.
Well, I thought you might have known each other.
No, I know Ed from stand up, of course. And once I saw Quincy walked up, and of course I remember Quincy from the Ice House and all that good stuff. But Edwin told me that you guys were talking shop and talking Star Wars. I was like, we got to have these guys on.
It wasn't just the way that they were talking, because like I've been knowing Star Wars for maybe 40 years now. But with some of the stuff that you guys talk about opened up my eyes to, like, because we talked about it on a couple of episodes, because I was so like hyped up about it, because you're talking about how Yoda really isn't that much of a badass. And I was like,
we discussed that in
I was
episode.
so mad.
I was upset, man. Yeah. I couldn't sleep for 48 hours. I'm like, what is this bullshit? This is bullshit.
But by the end of the conversation with you guys having, I was like, oh my God, these motherfuckers made me change my way of thinking.
And then we spoke about it on one of our episodes, and it's sad. We came to the realization that it was some weak ass shit that Yoda was saying, but we're over it now.
So kind of. I felt bad because I don't know if you know, like Joe Rogan, he always says he's really not smart. He just has a lot of friends that are smart and they kick knowledge to him. So he just kind of regurgitates it and spits it back. So like, I felt like that's what I was doing on the podcast. I was taking credit for what you guys were saying, and it really wasn't coming from my brain, you know? So I was like, we got to have you guys on the podcast with us, because that's the true source where it came from, you know? And and George was sitting there and he was like, that's what you guys have to talk about on your podcast. You know what I mean? Because we're all about the toys and stuff like that, you know, but.
We definitely are about, obviously, the collecting the toys. Edwin and I are always, shopping for toys. We're always on the prowl looking for for us, it's about the hunt of the toys that are out or things that we need. But the fact that backstories are definitely important to us on the show as well.
Well, when someone changes your mind on something after 40 years of believing one thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Did you
Yeah.
guys get any Acolyte toys?
Okay, so it's funny you bring this up, Quincy, because those toys all of a sudden from the vintage card collection. If you want to look that up, Solomon, the Acolyte toys from the vintage collection,
They're skyrocketing.
they're skyrocketing right now, and now we can't find them in the damn stores, and we're pissed.
I had all of them in my hand at one point.
He
but I
did,
was
and,
like,
and he reached out to me. He's like, "Man, you think we should get these?" I'm like, "Nah, let's wait." And I'm up to date on the Action Figure Digest price guide, and all of a sudden they just went through the roof. And then I guess on Monday they canceled the show, right, Ed?
Well, do you guys have a collecting collective? Like y'all.
it's a bit redundant.
I don't even know what that
Yeah.
means, but I like it.
Like,
You got collection,
We're like
collective.
a support group here. for us.
Right, it's just like you consulting each other on like, okay, we got these. Like, do
Yeah.
you guys go in as a consortium, another C word, to buy this stuff together? Like, do you have a dual collection together?
Well, Ed's realm is a 6-inch Black Series Star Wars toys.
6 or 12, anything.
6 or 12
I
inch.
can't get into the small stuff.
I like the small, the 3.75 figurines with the
Right.
card back.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm into a lot. And like if he's at the store, he's like, "Hey man, do you have this one?" We'll FaceTime each other. He was just in Vegas. We faced each other for a good 45 minutes. He just walked around the store, just browsing. I'm looking at stuff too. I feel like I'm shopping too.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but
So I found a nice piece. It was like $60. It was a 6-pack figure of 3
PX
and 3
exclusive.
quarters. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the box was in great condition, $60. All right. I'll get it.
Acolyte stuff, right? You're
No,
this is some other
this
stuff,
is
yeah.
an old thing, but off subject. But
Yeah.
when I travel on a plane, I put it in the overhead compartment and it got all smashed up. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you don't even owe me money anymore. I'll just eat it. But he was like, no, I'll take it still.
It's still in
Right.
good condition, but I like that box to be in pretty damn good condition for display purposes, and all that
and
stuff,
the money value.
and money value.
But you brought up
Yeah,
acolytes.
Acolyte, yeah.
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 Well, because I know that they canceled the show,
Right.
and then I saw some articles saying that they yanked all the action figures
From the shelf.
from the shelves and from online stores.
They-
And so that's why I was asking if you guys had gotten any
So-
before they
should've-
yanked
there
them.
might be a rumor. We know that that rumor could be true or false. I don't. Sometimes they do that just to kind of hype up the toys even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll kind of. But as far as I know, they're still in the stores.
Oh.
So this, as far as we know, they're just probably running low right now. I don't know, but.
You know, Disney be doing that. They
do
the
that.
OGs of that stuff be like, we ain't got no more Beauty and the Beast. Sorry.
There's a picture right there of the
Oh, yeah.
Acolytes right there. So those are the retro collections. So we'll be on the lookout for that. So any guests or people that are watching the show, if you guys know where to find them, please put it in their comments and we'll go hunt for it.
I couldn't bring myself to buy them because
We couldn't either.
Force Awakens and all those other series,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
came afterwards. The toys are like they're practically giving them away. Like,
Ugh.
they're so cheap. You can get it for $3 or $4 for like a 6-inch figure. Like,
Those movies were so bad that it did devalue the toys.
It was
too.
so bad.
It was so bad.
It was
Yeah.
so bad.
Did you go to the theater and everything when
Of course,
The hype like everybody
still
else?
got to go do it. Still
Right.
got to give it a chance, and it was nothing but disappointment, man.
Uh-huh.
It was nothing but disappointment.
it's like when you have this one son that's an athlete and he's really good, and then you get this retarded kid. Like, but you still gotta love it and give him a chance. You know what I mean?
Damn.
He's still your kid. But
We haven't said the R word in a long time.
Yeah, I know.
We're vintage. We're vintage.
Yeah,
We're vintage.
exactly. Two
haven't
black
said-
people and the R word.
And the R word.
This show is over.
Yeah, you said 2 black people and the R word. Wow. Wow.
It's over. No, but okay. So basically, you guys, because the only thing I collect like that is comics, and not even really anymore. I think I got the ones I need, and I'm always on the search for some other ones I don't have, but they're always too expensive. And I'm like, well, this is after I sell my screenplay. Then you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
okay.
So I track certain things that I don't have the money for yet.
What comic books are you into, or were you collecting? Which kinds did you like?
I mean, I like to go back and find the stuff that really impacted me as a kid. And a lot of that stuff is not, that expensive. But like I did luck into going through my mom. I don't know if she's banging these dudes or like she was just really nice at work. But like a couple times dudes would just exactly right. I don't know if she Forrest Gumped these comics to me. You know that Forrest mom got with the principal so he could go to school. I don't know if that's what she did, but like the bottom line is two different dudes gave me their entire comic book collection when I was a kid.
What?
And then they would have Blacktail magazines in there. So 'cause they just periodicals. They just had them all mixed up.
Nice.
So it'd be like naked. I got porn, vintage black porn, big areolas and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
And then like I found like right behind a Blacktail magazine, I found Hulk 180 and Hulk 181. Hulk 180 is where a shadow comes and it's like, hey, what's this? And Hulk 181 is where you see that shadow as Wolverine. I got the pre-appearance and the very first appearance of Wolverine.
Dang, so those are hidden behind the big asses?
Yep.
I wonder if that influences your drawing because I looked on your Instagram and woo, boy, I was getting a semi right there. Some of the drawings, some big old booty and big old.
How long have you been drawing, Ed?
I mean, I started drawing. It's part of
around that time.
It's I was like, man, I love circles. You know?
Oh, look, he just pulled up the Hulk. There is
Look
that
at the price on that?
Does that look familiar to you?
$6,000, $700.
Wow.
Yeah, and mine's in pretty good. It's not in super in just crazy nuts condition,
But it's in good condition.
But he read it.
graded?
He read it and put it away. I haven't graded it yet because I'm never gonna sell it. Wolverine is as hot as he's maybe ever going to be, and I'm not going to sell it. It's mine.
Did you?
mine.
And I see you're rocking the Deadpool shirt. Did you go see the movie already?
Funny. I saw the movie, but check it out. My mom. I went to go see my mom a couple weeks ago, and she goes, "I got a great Spider-Man shirt for you."
I saw that post.
And then she brings out this Deadpool shirt. I'm like, "Oh, adorable."
Oh, that's really cool.
He is like Spider-Man basically though, right? Isn't that what they say they compare him to Spider-Man a lot?
Well, he loves Spider-Man. He's like in love with Spider-Man in the comics.
But I think it's Spider-Man at another level because the way he talks crap and the way he stuff.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was really quick-witted with his comments, but Deadpool's is another level.
Yeah, he's like Spider-Man with guns, and shit, right? So kind of like,
Yeah,
and that's what it explained to me because I was too poor growing up to afford comic
guns
books.
and samurai. But moms will never understand comic books, just like how girlfriends never understand stand-up comedy. You know what I mean?
So,
They're like,
do
"Oh, I
girlfriends
get it."
understand toys, motherfucker?
Well, I'm divorced now, so
Did you take half your toys?
We already
that was
discussed
it.
that.
Yeah.
We already, there was a custody battle with my ex-wife between the Chewbacca and the R2D2, but we settled, so we're good.
Then one of y'all get R2D2, one of y'all get C3PO.
Yeah, no, see, we gotta have.
Can't break that team
We
up.
we got over that, so we're good. All the toys were intact. So as you can see from some of these figures that we have right here, is there any particular one that you like that you kind of think is cooler than the other one?
I'm just a fan of all the dark side. I like the dark side and bounty hunters, but
Yeah.
So Quincy, I saw you talk saying that.
Yeah. So for me, like Malgus is one of my favorite Sith of all time.
a lot of people
You
don't
can see-
know who that is.
Yeah, and so I don't know because like he's not in the movies. He's in like the expanded universe, and honestly,
Explain to our listeners who Mr. Malgus is.
so Malgus he comes from the day before the rule of two. So if you know Star Wars, you know if you're a Sith, the rule of two only be two. You know, one to possess the power and the other to desire it. Right.
Mhm.
So
And, I'm sorry, that's because if there was more than two, they would just end up fighting each other.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because it was just a bunch of infighting and just backstabbing, and so as far as like an organization, it wasn't stable because everyone was vying for power and for control, and so it created chaos, and it made it easier for the Jedi or whoever else to overthrow them because they didn't have
Nice.
enough loyalty. So that's when Bane created the rule of two, but Malgus was one of the people who. If you know, like Count Dooku he was a Jedi, and then like he's so dope. Yeah, Count Dooku was a Jedi, became a Sith because he didn't agree with like the Jedi council.
The Jedi way.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
and so Malgus was like a Sith who kind of didn't believe in the Sith way and kind of wanted to do his own thing. And so they made this game Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
So they have these cinematic trailers, and so that's where I was first introduced to him because they have a bunch of cool scenes of like fighting with sabers and Malgus, and that's where I was introduced to him. And the thing I like about him is because he's a bad guy. And his fighting style is no nonsense. It's like every swing is like a death blow. And he just fights. It's like there's no monologuing. There's none of that. Just like
There's
Darth
no
Maul,
talking back and forth. It's just
like
straight to
Darth
the point.
Maul was in episode 1.
yes.
Right? It came
And
out.
I like that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no like he just comes and he's fighting. Like that's it. And Malgus, he like everyone he fights, he just like kind of kicks their ass. And I think he was one of the people who was involved in the first storming of the Jedi Temple. So if you watch the cinematic trailer, the cool thing about it is like the ship crashes into the Jedi Temple, which means to me like, oh, there's no exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? We're going in
all
here,
in.
and that's
all in.
and that's like so he just
Kamikaze
so they just
Japanese.
exactly just crash in, and then like the gate comes down, and all of a sudden you see all these red lightsabers at night ignite, and then Malgus is just like kicking everyone's ass, and then he ends up taking
That's
on
fire.
the best guy. Yeah, he's badass, and he's no nonsense, and he's just like he's like a dope ass Sith.
And you
What's
discovered this from the video game, right?
Yeah, from like YouTube stuff. So I haven't read a whole bunch of books, but I just like did like YouTube dives, and like I came across him. He's part of the game, and he's just like a really cool character. He's a really cool.
Those
Really
dives are awesome, right? Because
Yeah.
you can find out backstories by just watching, and then
Yeah,
someone like me, I don't have to read.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like because
Lazy ass.
how much time can I
You're audible.
devote to learning about something that's not going to make me money? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Right.
it's like I still enjoy it, so I'm going to participate, but I'm not going to buy.
What's up with this breathing apparatus? Do you know anything of the story?
So in the trailer, he doesn't have it, and then he gets injured in a fight, and so like he gets scarred, and I think he starts wearing. It's like in the first part, he's not wearing it. Later on, he is, and it's from a fight that he.
What's up with the dark side? Always has some kind of breathing problem because even Grievous, remember, he ended up having the bad because when he fought with Windu, and all.
Grievous's backstory is pretty awesome too, because he was
Yeah.
a big ass badass warrior.
Yeah,
He was a warrior.
Grievous's backstory
Yeah.
is really cool, actually.
Yeah, I don't know it fully, but I seen pictures of him, and I was like, "Whoa, that's Grievous." Before
He's a general, right? Does they call him general?
Yeah,
Right.
So his backstory is he was a warrior on this planet, and it's like a warlike culture or whatever. And so he was trying to save his people, and then Sidious like approached him, and so he said the modifications. So he was basically kind of the first version of Vader,
Mhm.
where it's like part human and part
right.
like
Part
machine.
Machine.
And so all Grievous really has is like his heart and lungs and stuff. It's
Oh,
human,
okay.
and everything else has been replaced with metal. So it was kind of an experiment in a way, but his character's dope. And the 4 lightsabers, man, come on, it's
Yeah, it's
pretty
pretty fast.
So
and you
cool.
get to see so much of him in Clone Wars. Like
Right.
you see him in the movie a little bit, but in
Mhm.
Clone Wars you get to see the kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, you see all his
Yeah.
repertoire of
I've
weapons.
been trying to tell Manny to watch Clone Wars forever. He's taking this sweet.
I'm
ass
taking my
time,
sweet time. And
but it's true. You're telling me the Clone
It's
Wars
really
is
cool.
probably because like our favorite is Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
But if you look at the Clone Wars and how it pieces everything together, it's almost actually essential, and it's really, really important to watch.
so what
if you're a real
what
Star
I
Wars
watched
fan.
back in the day, Quincy and Ed, was the DVDs. Ed had copies of it, and he let me borrow them. Was the
Never
first
got them back.
never got them back, but they're still in good hands. Was the first animated series, the Clone Wars, where they talk a little bit, but you know they're doing these sounds.
yeah.
That I have that I've watched that I know. So, but yet I still have to watch these new ones because it gets in more depth, right? Is that
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
old one kind of like the animation was weird.
the animation wasn't the
Yeah, and it was in it. So this new one, a lot of people don't like it because it's like 3D animation.
okay.
But once you get past it, it's great because it goes into depth. Like the first season, I think they almost have a bunch of individual episodes. Like there's a Yoda episode, so you get to see Yoda like out in the field fight like a whole battalion of droids and tanks with him and like 3 clone troopers.
Right.
You get to see like a full Mace Windu episode. You get to see Anakin really be Anakin. You know, because
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's like, oh,
Holding him back.
Yeah, we were pilots together in the Clone Wars, but you get to see how badass Anakin is, and also how badass Obi-Wan is in the series. And all of that series, yes, Clone Wars right there,
Mhm.
it spawned basically all the stuff that's happening now.
That's that.
Yeah, all the stuff. So the Mandalorian, not so much, but
Definitely
well, the
New Hope
Mandalorian
and
also
all that
because
stuff.
Ahsoka's on there.
oh yeah, that's right. So it's,
Yeah.
I guess so. You're right because it did. So Ahsoka for sure because that's an original character from Clone Wars.
She's badass.
Yeah, she's badass, and so it starts out with the movie. By the way, Like,
Right.
there's an animated movie. It's like an hour and 40 minutes or something.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
And then the series starts from there. But all the stuff that is sort of happening now with Disney, so much of it comes from Clone Wars. So like even the Darksaber, do you know the Darksaber, the black lightsaber?
Yes.
guy?
Yes. Uh-huh.
You find out its origin in Clone Wars.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you find
Okay.
all that
Right.
stuff. Yeah, it's so
everything.
good.
Everything.
What happens to Darth Maul?
Yeah, Darth Maul's
My
still
son
alive.
Tell me about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's still alive. Yeah.
Still alive. So
Still
this.
alive.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
I'm still alive.
But also not to take over, but
yeah, it's fine.
for me, one of the things I always wanted to watch was the Emperor fight, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you see all the other, but it's like, let's see the bad guys
Yeah, of course.
fight.
With the shockwaves. And
exactly. And then that's what we're talking. So that's what that conversation that Ed and I were talking about, like Yoda being shit. That battle between Yoda and him should have been epic, but it wasn't. It was
because to us it was like a draw, and then he just left. And
yeah, exactly. He just
we wanted more.
Yeah, he wanted to give
2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3 or something.
Yeah, exactly. I want more. I want I want a long lightsaber battle. I want a bunch of, and it just didn't seem like that. It seemed like they threw a couple things and he's laughing. I'm like, no, dude, let's have a serious Yoda versus like the baddest versus the best. Good. And it just fell short.
When I seen the Emperor be his baddest was when he fought Darth Maul and Darth Maul's brother.
Yes, see, that's what I was gonna say, and because you get to see it in Clone Wars.
Fucks him up.
Yeah, dude. He's like Darth Maul comes back to life, and he's on Mandalore, and he's taking over Mandalore. He took over a couple of like.
So you get Darth Maul and the Mandalorians.
Yeah, it's
pretty sick, man.
And some evil, like what do they call those? Not evil. What I can't think of the name right now. There's a couple underground like groups. Why can't I think of the name right now? There's like they're called like the Black Sun is one of them. Just like mafia, kind of space mafia in a way. And he beat Darth Maul. He goes and like kills their leader, and then like the next guy that steps up is under his control. So he takes over all these people, and then Sidious feels Maul growing stronger in the Force, and then he calls this dude, the guy with the staff and the long. He goes, "Oh, ready my ship," and he goes to Mandalore and he fights Darth Maul.
Damn.
And Savage Opress his brother. It's a sick scene. It's like that. That's real Emperor fighting. It's like good.
Sometimes you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes. I see, but that's the thing, man. I've been listening to y'all talk about damn Star Wars, and I know that everybody in here loves Star Wars so much.
We talk about everything else,
but
whatever.
No, but it's funny. It's funny how like the lore of Star Wars never matches the gameplay. I saw this meme and it was funny. It was like human lore, and it showed us building the pyramids and going outer space and inventing the printing press and all this beautiful, nerdy, fantastic scientific stuff. And then it said human gameplay, and it was just us on our phones. You know what I mean? So it's like in Star Wars, when you read the books, especially those old ass Timothy Zahn joints and stuff. See, that's where my nerddom comes in. When I was a youngster, I used to read Timothy Zahn and Ursula K. Le Guin and whatever. They got these fantasy authors and Dave Wolverton and stuff, and they would write extended versions of what happened after the movies. So Leia had twins, you know what I'm saying, and one of them was immensely powerful, and all this different stuff happened, and Chewbacca ends up dying, saving
Han Solo's son.
Yeah, having Han Solo's son with a planet dropping on him, and all this crazy stuff. And they had the Clone Wars, where the clones were clones of the Jedi, and they would be like Obi-Wan Kenobi X or something. They would have the same name, but it'd be like another numeral at the end. And they would be like a fake ass version of you. And it would be like they didn't have no soul. So like they could get to the dark side really easy. They were so capable instantly, and they could instantly do force lightning, instantly like crack a planet in half with telekinetic energy and blah blah. I'm reading all that, and then I gotta watch a damn cartoon. And 20 years later to see something about 1/15th as cool, or to watch Mace Windu beat up a bunch of robots because they can't fight any people anymore because it's all for little babies. So now all of a sudden I gotta watch people chop apart metal dudes. Like, what is this, Magnus the robot fighter? Like, y'all used to fight for like, your soul. The soul of the galaxy was what y'all was fighting for. And now it's a bunch of little kids slicing robots. Yay. It's like, come on, man. It just feels like it fell down.
That's why I don't read.
You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, the lore of Star Wars is so much. The lore of the fighting and your imagination of what giant Jedi could do, like going like the crushing a Star Destroyer in your fist if you have enough force power, shooting a bolt of lightning, even all this stuff. It's just like, I don't know, man. It just seems like it never really stacks up. And when you look at what they can actually do, that's where you get Yoda not being able to catch Dooku because he was holding some rocks.
Yeah.
I'm holding some rocks so Count Dooku can get away. What? And then him fighting the Emperor in that goofy fight. Yeah. And then at the end he goes, well, time for me to jet, I guess.
and bail.
Yeah.
Bail Organa.
Yeah. Bail I must.
Bail I must.
Him and Bail Organa,
yeah.
Him and Bail were bailing.
Yeah.
And I just feel like all of that sets me up to be underwhelmed by the modern Star Wars experience. So that's why I'm just like, I'd be quiet during all this stuff because it's like I am so underwhelmed by this.
Damn, him talking about this is kind of just reminds me of the state of comedy. What happened with the jokes? What happened with the jokes? No, we're just gonna talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
Same thing, man.
Where are you from? Huh?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from? Oh, what you wearing? Oh my God, hey, where
Dude,
you work at?
It's so funny. I would rather we go back to take my wife please type jokes than do crowd work the whole time. You know what I mean? It's just like, my wife, I tell you. Oh, I'd rather we go back because Rodney Dangerfield was better than these crowd work guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's dribbling with one hand. You know what I mean? It's when you look at the game, how the game has changed. Proto comics, Buddy Hackett. I'd rather watch Buddy Hackett than see somebody do crowd work. You know what
And
I'm
crowd
saying?
work doesn't transcend on TV so much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have jokes and you have
It's more of a live
setups and
event.
callbacks. You can watch it from home, but if you're watching it at home, it's like you're not in the crowd. You're not seeing what's going on. The dynamic kind of gets lost.
Yeah, you need to, if you're going to record like a crowd work special, which I know a couple people have, it's like you need that extra camera to capture who they're talking to.
Right.
Yeah,
To make it make more sense. You also need subtitles so you can hear what the person said to make it.
Yep.
Basically, when you're watching crowd work on TV, it's like being in the back of the audience and they're picking on the person in the front row. And you can't hear what they're responding. And you're like, what's going on? And you hear loud. It's just what it feels like. It's disconnected.
And if you're stand-up, I mean, I don't want to shout out anybody in particular that
Right.
does that, but like this, Stavros Halkias does a lot of crowd work clips. If your crowd work isn't that good or better, don't put it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because Stavros would be talking to a guy and be like, find out that this dude's mom cheated on his dad with an astronaut. Be like, damn. And it's some funny stuff that he gets to it because he's actually listening. He's not going, what do you do for work? That sucks. Ha ha ha. You know, I know that's even become a cliche.
But see,
joke to make
that's
about
cool
it,
that
but it's
that,
like,
that
you know.
you're like you said you were passionate about reading going back to reading the novels and the books and all that stuff, and then you were just when you see it on screen, you're like you're just underwhelmed. You're like, what the hell?
When I was a kid, I was like, okay, what could drive this little frog fucker into the Dagobah? What could make this little frog fucker
Pull up
go
a frog,
down?
Solomon?
What can make this little dude go chill out and wait for somebody to crash land and give him some protein bars? Because that's how hungry he is. Like
Because he was eating nothing but worms, snakes and shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Pull it up, please.
What could drive somebody?
Yoda with the snake wrapped around his neck. They even have in the damn action figure.
So
They have a snake wrapped around his neck. If you want to pull that up,
But also,
Solomon, the
it's like
vintage
one-
Yoda action figure.
One of the greatest Jedi of all time. He's just a crazy hermit now. You know what I mean? That was like, because when you first see him, you don't know his power. No, you just know of him.
You just know of him.
Yeah, it's like, it's Yoda. And it's like, okay, everyone respected him, I guess. He's like one of the last Jedi left. And like, you don't really know that he was Yoda, you know, and then
And there was no CGI back then. Back then it was
Puppets,
I think it was
Henson.
Jim Henson, right?
Yeah.
That was getting his, just moving him around and and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then you get this.
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz.
There he
was
is. See,
his
look,
puppeteer.
even that action figure, that's what they when they produced it, it's great, but they even have a damn snake around his neck. Like, is that his food? What was he doing?
He looks Filipino.
He's about to start breakdancing.
That
like,
dance
oh,
song?
good
Is that
food.
dance song?
Now, Quincy, did you collect any action figures when you were a kid?
Again, too poor to collect stuff. So no, I didn't collect.
You didn't? Did you? Okay, you were just reading and playing video games?
Yeah, exactly. It had, and like most of my friends, I always had like smart friends and friends. A lot of my friends could draw and are in their comic books,
Right.
oddly enough. So it's like a lot of information just sort of absorbed it.
Did you did you collect anything like stickers or just anything?
No, just like I would just watch the movies.
You just
over
watch
and
movies
over
and okay,
over.
that's cool.
It was like that was as much as I could do.
Collect memories, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Collect
Like,
memories.
you had sleep for
Yeah.
dinner.
You can collect
Hey,
the
can I say
memories.
this too, by the way?
Yes, please.
So Ed, I always talk shit to him because Ed's he's a nerd. Like I'm a nerd in like three things, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Game of Thrones. Right?
Okay.
Those
Oh, good. I love Game of Thrones.
those things. But like Ed is like a full blown nerd.
Mhm.
But I always talk shit to him because he's also a Batman guy, and I
Oh.
hate Batman guys because they're always like, give him enough time and he can do it. And it's like, what? Like you want to talk shit
Fucking
about
billionaire, man.
You want to talk shit about the movies? Like Batman versus Superman should never be a movie because that's the dumbest premise in the history.
I cannot stand that movie.
That's the dumbest premise. And like, there's no way Batman has a chance versus Superman.
No,
There's no
and then,
way.
And then what did Superman say in that scene? Like, how do you know her name? Like I guess just some dumb shit. I did not like in that movie.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
The premise is terrible, and it's like Batman can't beat anybody.
He's a billionaire. That's it. That's like Bezos against like somebody from MMA.
Yeah,
shit ain't gonna work out.
You know what? I'm gonna be the first to say it.
Yeah.
Iron Man is a better version of Batman. There, I said it.
Ooh, I like that.
Iron Man is a better version of.
But Iron Man's more of a scientist, I would say, and Batman's
dad
more
came
of a
from research.
detective.
Batman's more,
Batman came from money.
Listen,
came from inherited money.
They both come from
trained by ninja.
They both come from inherited money.
Yeah.
They both are really smart people. The only difference is Iron Man is actually practical because in the suit, he's not going to be twisting ankles. Where if Batman twists an ankle, he's out for a week, and the crime is just going to run rampant for that week. Right? That's it. Right?
It's like injury list.
Exactly.
Paper, like, Batman twisted ankle.
His
Out 3 to 4
dexterity has
weeks.
to be like off the charts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Ed, so he's calling you out a little bit. I like this. Who's your favorite Batman? What's your favorite Batman? Who was your favorite Batman?
Well, I mean, number one, I don't. Everybody likes Batman, just like everybody likes Wolverine. It just is at differing degrees. You know what I'm saying? It's
You
just
have a
different
Batman
degrees.
tattoo?
No
Okay.
no
All right.
tattoos. No
Thank
tattoos.
God.
But look, okay, I gotta break this down, dude. The reason why people are so tired of Batman versus Superman and how idiotic it actually is, that is absolutely correct. It's because DC, back in the days when Frank Miller did The Dark Knight Returns, The Dark Knight Returns was literally about 55-year-old Batman who's been retired, and Superman. All the superheroes have been retired. They did the thing kind of like The Incredibles. They banned superhero-dom. They said there's too much collateral damage and all this messed up stuff. So the point is, Batman was chilling out in his house, and crime in Gotham went rampant again. And mutant gangs were rolling the streets, blowing up old ladies on the subway and stuff. And he wasn't doing anything about it. He was just chilling in his house. And Superman was the president's toady. When the president called on the soup's phone and told Superman to go beat up Nicaragua, this Superman would just go do it like a little bitch. That's the world that thing was set
During
in.
that
Okay?
time.
It was the future of what happened. So Diana's gone, meaning Wonder Woman. Everybody's gone. So the point is, Batman and Superman were the only super things left on Earth, really, and stuff was getting bad, and Superman wasn't doing nothing about it because he was too concerned about what people thought. And Batman was like, fuck what people think. I'm going to come back and be Batman. So he starts being Batman. The cops are after Batman, all this kind of stuff. Bottom line, the president calls Superman in on Batman and says, Superman, stop Batman from doing this stuff.
Is this after that? Because I don't know.
It's in the way of the
Is this after the Harvey Dent incident? Or is he kind of like in limbo? Or
Oh, no. Well, Harvey Dent in Dark Knight Returns, Harvey Dent is actually fully reformed. They do a whole surgery on his face and make sure his face is straight, and they make sure his mind is right. And then the first thing he do when he get out of Arkham Asylum is go back and do crimes. And his face isn't even harmed, but his mind thinks that he's Two-Face forever. So Batman defeats Two-Face in one of his early coming back adventures as a 55-year-old man. A 55-year-old man being Batman. So his joints hurt. He can't climb the rope. All I'm saying
I'm
is
55 right now. I feel it. Yeah.
So
But he had enough time to plan, though. That's why he could do it.
But that's the point. So Batman, shut up. Okay. Batman using everything he knew about Superman from 40 years or 30-something years of friendship. Superman not wanting to beat up his friend, not wanting to harm his friend, just wanting to kind of put him down. And knowing he was on the wrong side, by the way, knowing Batman was basically right to bring superhero-dom back. Superman comes to the fight, going half speed, and doesn't realize that Batman has been thinking about how to beat him for 30 years and sets up the exact situation, the 1% situation of how he could do it. And then he executes it and does it. And it's a big, beautiful story. And then later, Zack Snyder's dumb fucking ass decides that if Batman and Superman knew each other for a fucking year, Batman would have been able to devise a way to beat him, which is fucking stupid. And that's why everybody thinks the whole idea is stupid. But in the fucking actual way they did it in the goddamn story, Batman had planned that shit out for 30 years and had Green Arrow helping him with kryptonite arrows and shit, and had gotten to the whole Gotham power system to power his armor to punch Superman a couple times at superpower, and had slowed Superman down, and Superman had just done a nuclear adventure and had to bring himself back by like sucking sunlight out of plants and shit to even get his body back. He planned... He got Superman at the weakest he could ever be and the strongest Batman could ever be, and had planned it for 30 years.
Okay,
so of course that would work better than, hey, what's up? Do you bleed? of course that would work better.
How do you know her name?
At any point, Superman can throw a mountain at Batman. That's all I'm saying.
But Batman is playing on that. If you know somebody's not going to shoot you, you walk towards the gun and take it from them.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm hearing from you is that Batman was able to at least subdue Superman for a minute just because Superman is a nice guy.
Because
Superman is not going to want to. So if Superman wanted to, he could have destroyed him. That's what I'm saying.
And like I'm trying to say, I am not one of these people who just goes, oh, after Batman did it one time, it's like, man, the first time you come, man, you know what I'm saying? First time you come, you want to come again and again and again. And that third or fourth come, a lot of times that's terrible. Because you done wasted all your energy, your chi.
When you're 55, I don't know if you can come that much.
Exactly. So the point is,
Blue Chew.
So DC's on like a jack off bender, and they've done that Batman, Superman,
just hammering it down.
They're hammering it so much, and it's stupid now. Sometimes Batman would just roll up a Superman, put on a kryptonite ring, and punch him in the face real easy. It's goofy.
Did you like the show? My son liked it, that Gotham show. Did you like that at least a little bit? Did you like that one?
I don't fuck with before Batman. Like, why do I want to know him riding horses and shit? Like, why do I want to know that part?
The finished product.
Right. I want to see the finished product of Batman, or dedicate yourself to showing me a whole movie or something about his training or whatever.
Ooh.
But like, don't just, you know what I'm saying? Don't just have a whole series where Catwoman predates him, even though and Batman Year One, Catwoman is inspired by Batman because she sees what Batman's getting away with. You know what I mean? And so she wants to get out and get her a costume and identity.
So if they would have made that movie that way that you were saying, like how for the 30 years of him
planning,
it would have, it would be more acceptable, right? Like,
well, I mean, they'd have to have built up 30 years of stuff, or at least a Marvel-esque,
so
like 10-year period.
Too hard to transcend because when you're reading something, you take it in a different way versus when you see it on the cinema.
Well, all I'm gonna say is when you get obsessed with the visuals from the comics and you don't realize, that's why it's funny. People are just obsessed with the visual of Batman beating Superman. They're not at all interested in the story how. Right. And that's why it filters out to the guys like Homeboy who are like, this is stupid. It could never happen. Well, in the one story where it could happen, it happened. And all the rest of these times, they're just trying to get that feeling back. This whole thing is about nostalgia, right? We're trying to get that feeling back of that time we saw Batman conquer the unconquerable. And then they just do it over and over again. And like I said, that 14th Jack, you know what I'm saying? It's that third Jack of the day. You jizzing dust.
Yeah.
They're jizzing dust on this whole thing.
So Quincy, you were saying that you are
Jizz is dust.
The jizz is dust.
You just
shit that you can relate to right now. Shit that you're like, oh yeah, it does. There is
a lot of comparisons like in Batman.
That shit hit home like a motherfucker, didn't it?
you're talking about
So Quincy, you were telling us earlier that you are a big Game of Thrones fans, and for those people out there, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan too. Obviously, probably two of the best episodes ever on television. Battle of the Bastards. Great one. That was, and then what's the other one I like a lot? The Long Night was cool too.
Yeah.
The Long Night is cool.
That's great. Battle of Blackwater was great.
Who was your favorite character on that series?
All right, so my two favorite characters.
Yeah,
my two favorite is Tyrion and Arya.
Okay.
And by the way, so I read the books, so it's like I'm like disappointed by the show.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Because Arya is supposed to be really badass. Right?
Yeah, and she is really badass. But so in the show, like the first season and the first book, like pretty much your mirror images. It's like 85%. the same, and then each season it drops like 10 to 15% from the book. So it's like starts to deviate. But it's Tyrion and Arya. Arya's storyline is the purest one, right? It's like, oh, she's a good-hearted person. She leaves, and like she was taught. She's from the north. You know, they have honor there, and then she sees all these dishonorable people, and she sees all these other people who are supposed to be honorable, who taught her to be honorable, not acting that way, and it frustrates her in anger. And her plot is like pure revenge in a lot of ways. So it's really like pretty simple. Tyrion's is a little bit more complex, just because he is on the good side. He is part of the rich.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, he's part of the richest family, but he's also the outcast. He has overcome a lot, and he has to take on a lot of shit for what everyone else in his family has done, not what he's done. Because all he likes to do is get drunk and sleep with whores. Because no one cares. Yeah. So those are my two favorites, Arya and Tyrion. Those are my two favorites.
Is it true? Since it looks like you obviously knew more stuff than Game of Thrones about me. Is it true that the guy that played the young king, that he pretty much quit acting after that? Is that true?
I know Joffrey. You talking about?
Yeah, Joffrey.
I heard that. I don't know if he quit, but I know that he was hated so much.
It affected him, right? Like, he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, people hated him so much because his character was so good. Yeah. And dude is he like they nailed, like when you read it, like they nailed it. They really nailed it. Joffrey just petulant, like you just want to slap them, but like you can't do anything because they're rich, and he's like they nailed Joffrey. Like the casting really got that one.
Hey, did you ever, when you watched that show, because it was so damn realistic, did you ever go, I was enjoying that show so much that I even at one point Googled, are dragons real? Because they made those things look real. I was like, is this shit real? That's how much I love that show, man. I Googled that, are dragons real? Pull up the dragons, Solomon. Pull up the dragons.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was so damn realistic. It was insane. And I haven't seen the new
House of Dragons.
I haven't seen the House of
I
Dragons.
haven't watched that either.
But Game of Thrones was one of the top 5 shows.
Yeah, no, it was good. Like
Save
the last
HBO.
It was HBO.
Yeah, the last season was like, but it was
the way they ended it, right?
Yeah,
I didn't like, the dragon just like, it's cool, we're good.
Yeah,
breathe some fire right now, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
When is the last time you've seen something end in a way you were just like, wow, that was the best?
I think I'm a Breaking Bad fan. I like Breaking Bad. I like how it ended.
Breaking Bad, that's one.
That's cool. I think
and Better Call Saul ended kind of a.
Oh yeah, Better Call Saul was cool. How they tied everything.
Okay, both of those were the same people.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that genre.
Kudos to Vince Gilligan on that.
Yeah, could be.
No, you're right. Shit, that is a good question.
Okay, so you might not have liked it, but like it was, everyone hated in the end of the game. Like people hated it. Like it was bad.
People, I think a lot of people when they were watching the Game of Thrones, they thought the longest that like they should have just cut it off at the long night, whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of her going in the town with the dragons and.
Hardhome was.
And wasn't it Jon Snow just walking away or something like that?
Yeah,
And then didn't he end up? Wasn't that his sister or something like that, or he end up sleeping with? Or
no, so Jon Snow ends up that he's supposed to be half brothers with like Sansa and Arya and Bran and Rickon, whatever.
Bronn,
But you find out that he's not. Like, so Ned Stark wasn't his dad. Ned Stark was his uncle.
Yeah.
Ned Stark's sister was Jon Snow's mother. Yeah. So Jon Snow's a Targaryen. Is what happened.
Yeah, and then he ends up getting with that Targaryen chick.
Oh yeah, they hook up. But he also, I mean, spoiler. It's been years. He kills her.
Yeah.
They have him kill her.
Yeah.
You're good. Is it good to talk about this now, guys? Yeah.
Is it okay?
That's his. I think
there are dragons. There's dragons in the show. So.
There
you go. Yeah.
So that's his father's sister. So that's his aunt. Right? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like it's aunt.
Yeah. So it's not. And Targaryens interbred. So in the
kinfolk.
Yeah. Because it's like they're from Valyria.
I just said it right now.
They want to keep the bloodline pure, so they married within the family. So that's why they get crazy Targaryens, because they, because of.
So what shows are you guys into right now? What are you into right now, Ed? Anything?
I mean,
that you like?
I'm surprised you guys didn't talk about I don't know if you guys talk about Mandalorian a lot, but like honestly,
we've tackled it here and there. Yeah,
it's like the only Star Wars thing I like, dude. And I don't want to be that dude who's like, I only like the Cleveland Browns and the NFL. You know what I mean? I don't want to be some fool like in some weird part.
Are you excited about the movie that's coming out in 2026?
I'm very excited about anything Mandalorian.
We are too, and
period.
I guess they did a teaser trailer not that long ago. Favreau and his
Wait,
friend.
what's the movie? I don't even know if I've seen this.
It's called if you could pull it up, Solomon, it's called, I think, The Mandalorian and Grogu or something like that. I think
around
I've
26.
in 2026.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Oh, and Grogu. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So it's going to be them too. And
Which one of you was one that was saying that Grogu's a clone?
That wasn't me.
Oh yeah,
Was
I
it
think.
you.
Yeah, I think.
There it is,
I
right
think
here, they're pulling it up
Grogu
right here.
might be made in the lab
From Yoda?
From Yoda's blood as a clone, right?
from. I don't know. He just seems like he got a lot of midichlorians, baby.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely. They showed that he was rescued. He was a youngling. He was at the temple.
And then when
Yeah.
Luke looks at his past, there's nothing of him on another planet. It's just at the Jedi Temple being trained, like
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
attacked. So it's
Right.
like, you would think, where did you come from? Where's your family? then
And also, he's
it
50
shows
years
that.
old, so there's a lot of time for there to be
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
That blew
and
my mind.
so we
too.
got Thrawn in this one. They just showed Thrawn.
yeah, and, Grand Admiral Thrawn was
Yeah.
actually
He was in the books too. Then
He
Yeah.
was in the books.
Brian.
He had his own books, right?
Yeah. And Brian Simpson, big fan of Grand Admiral Thrawn. I had him on my old podcast Nerd Goat, and he was talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn and like this just Jedi crap again.
Have you seen Ahsoka?
I feel like I didn't watch Ahsoka. I saw her
he's
in
in
the
there,
Mando.
too.
I saw her in the Mando stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, but I just like the way the Mandalorians have to deal with the fact of all this Jedi bullshit and the Seth bullshit. It's like us in the real world. We got to deal with all these rich ass people and super
Yeah.
powerful people doing shit, and we got to carve our way out. And all we got is a goddamn lasso and a flamethrower and a jetpack.
And a slingshot.
Baby, you'd be lucky to have a jetpack. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? You got a couple gats and knives in your boot, and you got to deal with these motherfuckers that can do flippity flips all over the place and move shit with their brain, and you got to live in that world. I love Mandalorian.
Well, the thing I like about Mandalorian too is I'm like you said, you like Mandalorians, like so if you're not a Jedi or Sith, you got to be a Mandalorian or a bounty hunter.
Mhm.
Like those are the top.
I'm
four.
about the bounty hunter life.
Yeah.
Boba Fett and all those guys were always my favorite back in the
Yeah,
day.
they're because they're like regular people who can do dope
doing
shit.
jobs too.
Yeah,
Like bail bondsmen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Dog the bounty hunter.
They don't have powers. They have ability. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
they have
yeah.
training and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
And so they're like for me.
Kind of like Batman.
Yeah.
kind of like Batman.
But they were more middle class, bro. No, Batman's rich. No,
Yeah, exactly.
That shit don't count. Batman's rich.
Yeah, and also it's a religion for them. Like that's the
Yeah.
cool thing about Clone Wars. They have a
Mhm.
couple where they have a few episodes where you go back to Mandalorian and like you learn more and more about them. Like it's literally like their religion, and they have honor similar to Jedi. It's like honor fighting in battle. Like if you're a Mandalorian and like you have an issue, you guys can challenge each other. And you know what? They also have equality of the sexes, which is like you never really. So it's like a dude will challenge a chick, and then they'll just fight, and it's considered fair. And because like you have to just overcome your enemy, and so I really like the lore of the Mandalorians as well. Because
Same here,
rich
and
history.
I enjoyed when actually the Boba Fett series when they even went to that when they were showing the Tusken Raiders. You had more appreciation for
yeah,
the
exactly.
Sand people because remember you just looked at them like all these.
Yeah, and
guys
then,
are- no, but
that's all they were.
showing
just-
how to use the
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he fought for them too for
Yeah.
And
their
the
rights.
Boba Fett was never a Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a clone,
He's a clone.
direct clone of his father.
Yeah, yeah.
Or of Django.
Of
Yeah,
Django.
yeah,
so he
so-
never was Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's like, where'd you get that armor? It's like, well, it's my family.
Yeah.
But he doesn't necessarily know the code.
But so there's little kids in the Mandalorians, right? Like, how do they fuck? Like,
What do you mean?
do they have to wear the helmet still because they're not supposed to take them off?
So so
Like,
what
you
you like? So the Mandalorian, the series,
Uh-huh.
they are an extremist group. So he was raised by an extremist version, and so you remember Death Watch,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And from the Clone Wars, he's like a Death Watch. Death Watch separated from the regular. They inhabited Mandalorian's moon and all that kind of stuff. They wanted to bring back the old school ways of being a Mandalorian, but they're extremists. So like taking off the helmet, it's like if you're a regular run of the mill Mandalorian, that's not a rule. That's like that sect, like that. That's
So
what
they're like Catholic or Orthodox.
yeah, exactly. They're like if you have Jews, then you have Hasidic Jews. They're like that,
Right.
They're like Jewish special forces or something. Like basically.
That just doesn't mix, but I like it. The Jewish, but hey,
Yeah,
is that
but like it's like Orthodox Jews, like they have to.
this is
they
the
have to-
way. This is the way.
They have to have sex like through a hole in a sheet, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like so
Right.
you can't-
Yeah.
And then you have running.
And they could also be like Quakers and
Yeah, exactly. Mennonites, all those
any
stuff.
Quakers,
Lutherans,
Mennonites,
Yeah,
Mhm.
all the stuff where you just be like, okay, these are the rules. Oh, they done grafted a lot of other rules on top of this, but these are the rules
Yeah.
that we really.
And-
But are they all warriors? Because you have warriors, but then you have their wives or people that cook, hold the
Well,
house.
that's where
the
it
house
breaks
together.
down, though. They ain't enough fighting in the motherfucking universe for everybody to be a damn warrior.
No, listen,
Yeah.
Somebody got to cook burgers. Somebody got to till the
house
field.
spread.
it appears like every Mandalorian has been trained somewhat. I don't like the newer version, like the city. They don't go in the city, but like
They got some skills.
yeah, have some skills. Because I remember it was like one. What's her name?
Paz Villa.
No, it's the
Not
one-
Paz Villa, but the girl. What the heck's her name?
Oh,
Sabine Wren.
Yeah, Sabine. Yeah.
Wren,
So like
yeah.
Sabine's mom is not dressed up, but then eventually she puts on, and they have like a politician who's in regular clothes, but he puts on his Mandalorian armor also.
Mm.
So I think all of them sort of get trained to a certain extent.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
they just like at some point they veer, kind of like again Israel. Like everyone has to go 2 years in the army and then do what you want after that.
and they do it in Korea too.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, I'm sorry. Am I picking on Jews? Is that what it makes you feel like I'm picking on Jews?
It's not. It's like we said, and they're Korean too.
Yeah, we're just picking out everybody that's not American.
Speaking of other immigrants,
Yeah.
I just finished watching the movie Alien Romulus. If you guys get a chance,
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
pretty damn good.
Was it good?
It was good, man. Spoiler alert. No
Please,
spoiler alert.
no
Just go watch it.
spoilers.
It's
No
good
spoilers.
action.
Yeah, don't spoil. I want to see
It
it.
was pretty good. Yeah. It was a fun movie to watch for the summer, actually. So Alien Romulus. I don't know if you guys have seen the other aliens, the Prometheus, the
seen
Covenant,
one.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, just go watch it.
It ties it all in together.
No, this is different. This is different time. Different time.
Oh,
okay.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
different time. Yes,
Oh,
because
and by the way,
go
go
ahead.
back to the Star Wars real quick.
Yeah.
You guys noticed that for me, the best Mandalorian episode was during Boba Fett.
that's what. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes,
literally,
that was a great episode.
It was like that's the best Mandalorian. It was on Boba Fett series. I'm like, oh man, why
And
did
it's-
you put it?
it's-
Which one was that?
I
The-
forget
the one where they're fighting for because that's where they're on Tatooine, right, and all that stuff. And they're
It's like the dude who died on this. They're on this planet, right? Is that or is it Tatooine?
Well,
I
when they're
forget.
fighting over the dark saber.
I can't even.
no, that's the Moff Gideon one. That was Moff Gideon when they fought with the Darksaber. But when they're on Tatooine, when they're fighting like the town.
Yeah.
That's a great scene. And actually, a new figure. We're talking about that. A new exclusive. I think an exclusive figure with a Mandalorian and one of those creatures. It will be out, I believe, in October or November. So be on the lookout for that.
Are those big head fuckers that they?
Yeah, and he like
Right.
mounts on it and stuff.
and the old
Rancor.
dude-
Not the
yeah,
Rancor. It's not the Rancor.
No,
It's a smaller.
oh,
It's a little bit smaller
It's like a
creature.
dewback.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Kind of like that. Yes, like the
Yeah.
dewback. That's
Yeah.
coming out, I believe.
And
in-
the dude like I have spoken. He
That-
he
they
taught him
believe
how
like-
to ride.
that's
Nick
coming out-
Nolte, huh?
Yeah, Nick Nolte taught him how to ride them.
That's
Yeah.
coming out in
Yeah.
October, November, you guys. So be on the lookout for that vintage
Yes.
collection.
Oh, yeah.
$39.99 as well. So.
I want one of those actually. I mean, Mandalorian. I mean, I have very few figures. I have I guess 6-inch Snake Eyes.
Oh, okay,
Figure.
cool. From G.I. Joe.
Yeah, from
Nice.
G.I. Joe, and
Nice.
it's not
Oh,
one of them
Snake
like
Eyes.
those very first ones. I had one of those. I had the one where he had two knives across his chest, and he was sort of he had silver accents. And I wanted to have the one that was kind of like the cartoon where it was like a gray, and he had grenades across his chest, and he had his sword and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Never was able to really find that one as a kid. It was always gone. And so I would.
If we see it somewhere, we'll look. We'll be on the lookout.
I always
for
like
that.
Storm Shadow better than
Yeah.
Snake Eyes.
I
Storm
found a Storm Shadow, but he had that big goofy. He had the suit on. Like remember they tried to put clothes on the motherfuckers and shit.
No,
So,
but he
like-
was rocking white all the time, right?
Yeah.
Storm Shadow was rocking white.
Yeah, he was a white. Yeah.
And I believe they were friends or cousins or something like that. I don't know if they're cousins.
And they mixed it all up in the.
they mix it all up because they fucked that movie
Yeah,
up too.
and they mixed it up in the cartoon and everything because like in the cartoon it was like
he was just his
Sno-
rival.
Storm Shadow fought Spirit for some reason.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He fought the Native American dude. He never really fought Snake Eyes
right.
in the cartoon. But Larry Hama wrote the comic books based upon the toy line, and in that
Did Snake Eyes have like a wolf or something, like an
Yeah.
animal, like a
Yeah.
sidekick
he had a wolf in
A wolf,
in
huh?
his original
in the cartoon?
toy and in the
In the cartoon,
thing,
okay,
in
yeah.
the cartoon,
Mm.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and
But
Storm
I
Shadow
never-
talks and Snake Eyes doesn't.
Yeah, Snake Eyes at the time. And then Snake Eyes was a white ninja, which is like, it just ruined it for me when I found that out, man. It's like, come on, man.
He's a white guy. He's an actual
Yeah,
white guy.
a blue-eyed white guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Was,
Oh.
Oh,
was
man.
Snake Eyes.
That's why he didn't talk because
In
they
the
wouldn't
car-
know. You a white dude?
Hey, brothers, let's do.
Is that our time? We're almost up to.
We're actually almost
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
but
Because I wanted to talk about how shitty the Acolyte was. I don't know if we
Okay.
talked about that enough.
wrap it up. Yes,
Yeah,
please do. Please.
Okay, because here's the thing about the Acolyte is that they let them have 3 of the coolest things in Star Wars. Okay,
Can I guess one of them?
yes,
The lightsaber whip.
Lightsaber whip, absolutely. Because I knew about the whip. Lightsaber whip, you get to see. It's like, oh my god, let's see that in a fight, right? It's like, oh, I'm excited. They had that. They had Plagueis, which is like,
oh yeah,
right, and they have the bleeding of the lightsaber crystal. The lightsaber crystal going from good to bad, turning red. They have that, and it's like 3 of the coolest things in Star Wars. Except the rest of the series sucked. It was like one good episode. They have the apprentice, right? What's his name? The stranger, right?
That's the Filipino dude.
Yeah, it's called the Filipino. We're just gonna call it the
Filipino dude. That's fine.
When he
Pacquiao.
Like, so he does everything a Sith should do. He kills like 7 Jedi, like viciously, like just kills. He kills a youngling. He just like
takes him out in one blow, like 9.
In one blow, he has the helmet that like just that short circuits lightsabers when he hits. And then the next episode, he's fucking frolicking in a lagoon and swimming. It's like he's a Sith frolicking. It's like this is made.
That's why I haven't watched this show.
I'm like, I'm not against women making anything, but you can tell a woman made it when he showed the Sith Lord frolicking.
If he was frolicking in lava.
Yeah, exactly.
Lava. Just burning.
I know what my bad guy's thinking about hygiene. You know what I'm saying? You just killed an 11-year-old, and you're like, "Oh, I better bathe." You know, like
this to say this episode was fun is an understanding. I had a blast with these awesome gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Can you let everybody know where? First of all, tell them where you're going to be at next, performing next. This would be the week of August 30th.
Yeah, towards the end of the month.
Oh yeah, no. You can check for all my tour dates. Isn't it funny when people say that?
And then they're at a pizza parlor and shit.
Yeah, Jimmy's Pizza Parlor next month.
Just so where you'll be performing.
Yeah, no, it's you can check out my entire stand-up comedy schedule on edgeardestroys.com.
There you guys go. All right.
And you can and from that hub, you can go to everything from my Instagram. I'm Edgeard Destroys on all social media.
Perfect.
And you can check out my podcast, The Greatest Pod, where we discuss and debate what makes something great.
Awesome. And what about you, Quincy?
Just my IG, Quincy L Weekly. I'll let you know where I'm going to be. And if you guys want to book me, like, I don't know, say shit on Batman for 30 minutes, people. You guys want to,
we're definitely gonna have you.
Reach out to me, people out there in the world, and tell you why Iron Man is a much better Batman. I can go on that.
Well, you notice how I didn't even address that.
I know you did because he can't.
Nope.
Got him with the broken ankle.
Got him with the broken. Did a crossover on his ass.
But yeah, just Instagram mostly.
Sounds good. Anything you want to add, partner?
But you guys are both paid regulars at the Comedy Store?
Quincy,
I haven't. Say it like that. Ed
Damn, let's just say it like that. All mean.
I am, but Ed will be soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I thought you got passed when George got passed.
Nah, dude.
Oh, you guys same class though, or?
I met George up at the store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm glad that you and him are friends because every time I see him, I know I'm gonna see you.
Well, I got you guys some stuff.
Yeah, we like giving gifts.
What?
Here. Yeah.
This is from LA Kush. It's an Aether.
Wow.
You guys got an Aether each.
Yeah.
See, so we want to make sure our guests don't.
These are lighters from LA Kush.
Don't
This
come
is off LA Kush off of
empty-handed.
Valley and the 710.
Oh, thank you,
nice.
LA
They
Kush.
hooked
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
You
And
guys-
then this is mushes.
Wow.
These are mushrooms. They're I don't know if you guys if you take mushrooms or not. You can give them to some friends that do.
I wish I took them when I was in Hawaii.
But
I was
these are
scared to
great.
fly with them. But I
And then
wanted
these
to
are
take them with me.
capsules right here. And I don't know if you ever microdosed before, but mushrooms are really good for people that are like suffering from PTSD or if you have some kind of traumatic experiences. Kind of.
Well, we're black, so yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured, that's
think
why.
we're good, man.
So
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh,
man.
thank you guys for being our guests.
Yeah, definitely. And then I just wanted to say that you guys make nerds being cool.
Oh, thanks.
When I was in high school, I didn't do sports and I was in the chess club and stuff like that. And that's where all the other nerds came. But those were guys that got beat up in high school. You guys look like you beat those fools up.
Hey,
And
we're
you
too
got the nerd talk.
big to stuff into a locker. So.
But thank you very much, you guys. It's been awesome having you on.
Thank you guys for listening. You know how we do it right here in the Collector Strikes Back podcast. We'll see you next week. Peace.
May the force be with you.
Yeah. Or may someone force it on you.